What's up YouTube? I'm Valentin the Mad, and this is a Gore review of Hitman Absolution. As you probably know, a new Hitman game is coming in March, and I'll be doing a Gore review for it as soon as it's out. So, I figured that now would be a good time to discuss the latest released installment, do a few mentions of what Blood Money did better, and have a score to compare when the new Hitman game comes out. So how gory is Hitman Absolution? Let's find out. I'll be reviewing every aspect of the game's gore effects, and the score will be set based on 4 categories: body damage, environment, animations and sounds, the feel. So first thing, you have no dismemberment, and that's totally fine. It would make certain weapons more fun, but that's not the main focus in the game. What we do have is decals for almost everything you would do to the characters. Gunfire, stabs, a brick to the back of the head, and those decals look pretty damn good. It would be better seeing blood-soaked areas expand over time, but I have to say that the looks in Absolution top every previous game in the series, and actually, most games I reviewed too. However, there always are issues. There is no body damage for explosions and for fistfights. I'm not expecting something amazing and dynamic, but clearly a burned character skin and a bloodied face variation would be better than nothing at all. The second issue is what I call a lack of persistent wounds. If you shoot or stab a character and then wear his clothes, you won't see any wounds on the body, and the blood stains on the clothes magically disappear. Best cleaning service I have ever seen. It can't possibly be difficult spawning a different decal in the same location on the body and have the blood stains stay on the outfit when you are wearing it. Also, it should be a gameplay thing. If you kill someone in a bloody way, you shouldn't be able to wear their clothes without getting people freaked out about it. Initially, I wasn't even sure if I want to discuss that second issue for one simple reason. Wounds disappear after some time by default. Even without doing anything to the character, wounds would simply vanish, which is a massive immersion breaker. I can understand why you would have something like this on consoles, but on PC there is absolutely no excuse. Wounds should not be vanishing, and it's ridiculous that I even need to say it. You have blood splatter after hits and blood pools for dead characters. While the stains certainly look nice, the splatter will be activated only if there is a surface right behind the character. It's actually a step down from Blood Money, where you had stains spawned on pretty much every hit. Also, Blood Money spawned the blood trail when you drag the body that would lead to its location. So yeah, the spilling mechanics were actually better in the previous game, which came out in 2006. Now when you have disappearing bullet wounds, are you even surprised that blood on the environment vanishes too? Neither am I. But it only gets better. Despite the fact that blood disappears, characters will still freak out about invisible blood pools. I kind of find it hilarious and irritating at the same time. I'm against disappearing stains in any game. I think that the amount of blood and bodies should always be configurable on PC, but in a Hitman game, these things are even more important. Bloodstains serve an important gameplay mechanic and not only visual feedback. You have response animations on impact, death animations merging with ragdoll physics, and executions for melee attacks. I think that execution animations are a good approach for melee weapons in this type of a game. You're not going to have amazing dynamic melee combat, so executions would be the next best thing to make it feel natural. Much better than seeing a generic attack animation and the enemy dropping ragdoll after 2 or 3 hits. As for the death animations, they're very short for the most part. The longer ones last around 8 seconds and may even kind of resemble a disabled state, but no, that's not quite it. Blood Money actually had a disabled state that lasted 15 seconds, and unfortunately, instead of making it longer, we now have this. Also, The blend of animations and physics is not always smooth and causes some amusing bugs, but it's by no means a big deal. What is a big deal is that there are no changes of behavior for wounded characters. Let's say you screw up and someone is now running to alert whatever armed authority the level has. You put a few bullets in them, they survive, and just keep running like nothing happened. This is what I would want to see. You put a few bullets in them, they start moving significantly slower, bleed all over the place, and maybe even collapse after 5 or 10 seconds. Then they are on the ground, trying to crawl and scream for help with the last strength they got. That's just one example. There should be a large variety of different behaviors for wounded characters. As I said earlier, in Hitman stuff like damage model, blood spilling and animations should be more than just a response thing. They should be a huge part of the stealth mechanics for all the situations that can happen in the game. The response sounds on impact are alright, both for the edged and blunt weapons. The character response sounds on hits and death can be pretty brutal, but not very lengthy. Also, you'll hear characters comment on what's going on. In a game that is centered on character reactions, those comments are nothing short of awesome.
Police brutality! It's totally awesome! I am so high.
Hitman Absolution is not so far from a decent feel. The wounds look great, the sounds are alright, and the executions are a great approach for melee weapons in such a game. And while it has big issues, such as inferior spilling compared to blood money, or wounded characters that keep running like nothing happened, the absolute biggest hit on the feel is the fact that blood and wounds disappear. It's a bad call in any game, but I can't emphasize enough how important permanent mess is in something like Hitman. So the score for body damage is 8 out of 30. The score for environment is 12 out of 30. The score for animations and sounds is 16 out of 30. I give the feel a score of 4 out of 10. So this gives the gore system of Hitman Absolution a total score of 40 out of 100. At this point, I'm usually hopeful about the sequel doing a better job, but with Hitman, it could go either way. For all I know, they could nail the response mechanics in the new game, or have bodies disappear. Gore aside, would I recommend this game? As a big fan of the series, no. There are awesome things going for Absolution, such as the witness system, but it's not a proper Hitman game. The emphasis on cover-based stealth mechanics instead of disguises is a bad call, and most levels are filler content for the story. Very few of them are actually large and open, with a ridiculous variety of possible approaches as you would expect in a Hitman game. The good news are that IO Interactive seem to listen to the community feedback and potentially get it right in the new game. Whether they actually did that is something we will find out very soon. Hope you enjoyed watching the review. Let me know how you feel in the comment section, and if you liked the video, subscribe and share it with your friends. You can find the link to all of my Gore reviews in the video description. Until next time.
Man, we're all naked under our clothes and our animal hearts beat with the same blood.
And if we don't nail this guy, all that animal blood of yours and your friends is gonna be spilled all over the place. Now let me in!
Show me the warrant.
The cop was so fucking right.